Hi, I'm Phoebe. I work in External Affairs and Communications in social justice and also in the creative arts. For A-level, I did sociology, English literature and fine art, and then I studied fine art at Central St Martin's. And my career has very much been guided by a love of storytelling, creativity and social change. So studying fine art gave me a really strong foundation in visual thinking and conceptual practice, and I then went on to working in galleries. But I think I was much more interested in how creativity intersects with people's lives outside of that commercial art gallery realm and outside of the studio. I think the thing about art and creativity is it's one of the most important communication tools because it transcends language, it transcends kind of educational ability, and so what I love about working for Shift is I get to translate quite complex data and quite complex stories into ways that can be read and understood by lots of different audiences and impact in how we rethink and rebuild social infrastructure so that we get the best outcomes for the most vulnerable people. So alongside this, I have a coaching practice where I work with artists and creatives, and I also do lots of my own content creation, writing, storytelling as well. And this helps me to really think about how we can make art and creativity more accessible and how more people can integrate it into their day-to-day life. Because I think just as we look after our mental health and our physical health, everyone should be looking after their creative health. For me, art isn't separate from life, it is all around us, and everyone is innately so creative. It's all about how we think and how we approach the world, and it's something that should really be nurtured and nourished in all people. So I'm really passionate about arts education, and not just what that looks like within a classroom, but what that looks like on the weekends and how we integrate culture with our communities as well. So how can we have experiences together that deepen connection but also deepen our understanding of each other and the world through creative means. I just love how dynamic and layered the City of London is, and I'm very biased, but I do think it's the best city in the world. Living in central London is such an enormous blessing and really contributes to my understanding of what it looks like when so many creative minds are housed in one place. I think when you're walking around central London and you walk past jazz bars and you see buskers and you have music, but you also have cinema and art and architecture and just years and years of creative vision that's been brought to life and is being adapted and is evolving all the time. It's really inspiring. And creativity is in everything, in the branding of a coffee shop, in advertising, in magazines, in what people are wearing. You just have to walk down any street in London and you get a bit of a fashion show. And I think all of those things help me to see the world through different perspectives. So one of the key things that I still take with me every single day, which is something that I really learned or developed when I was studying art, when I was working in galleries, was this idea of creative thinking as a key building block for problem solving in all areas of life. I think there's also something about being able to relate to all kinds of different people and different backgrounds and different stories, understanding what they're putting out in the world and why they're wanting to talk about something and therefore why you should be listening and what you can learn from that. And I think spending time with art and spending time with the outputs of a variety of different people is really helpful for expanding your own understanding of the world.
My biggest advice for anyone would be to really nurture your curiosity and to really not be scared of failing, to accept that failing fast just means learning faster. By building up a really diverse skill set, it's going to really set you apart, and then remembering that there are transferable skills that are utterly invaluable, like kindness, just being kind to yourself, knowing what your boundaries are and your limits, knowing what you need to do to look after yourself and make sure that you're showing up in the best way possible, not just as a colleague but as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter, as a comrade. Being kind to yourself and really being kind to others, recognising the importance of language, the words that we speak, the words that we use to talk about ourselves, to talk about other people, and understanding the power that those words hold.
There's maybe a misconception that you need to follow one path or the other in order to nurture your creativity, and I think it's definitely a blend of both. So there's so much room for discovery and impulsivity.